You've tracked the mountain of metal across the jungle for 2 days now, and you're positive it's heading for the volcanoes. Before you sprained something congratulating yourself, it was a metal mountain, so not really that hard to track. You run into a party of dwarfs that just abandoned a mining job. They all seem skittish, terrified even. You offer them some of your homemade mead and calm them enough to ask why. They tell you of a group of adventurers that were supposed to save them from whatever had taken up refuge near their mine. Unfortunately, their foreman paid the adventurers in advance. It wouldn't be so bad, except they never returned, and when the miners attempted to go near the job, they all fled for good this time. They all say the same thing. A mountain of metal cursed the mine. Your companions agree this has to be your Colossus. Invigorated by this news, you leave the dwarfs your camp and bolt for the mine. You reach the clearing right before it and observe the tree line. And then you observe the pile of metal, stone, and wood. Your keen eyes pick up a giant axe on one side and an equally large hammer on the other. You all step from cover, and the pile rises. Once the pile stands, several things happen at once, and your instincts guide your learned hands. You jump back to be even with the mighty pine line, and you duck and draw your longsword, all in one beautifully swift motion. Your friend and ally, since you were both knee-high to a gnome, stands staring blindly ahead, laughing. He's laughing. Barbarians are also known to eat a crayon or two, so you shrug and manage not to lose control of your bowels as the mountain of metal, stone, and wood swings the biggest axe you've ever seen right at the both of you. You quickly say thank you to your god for a great life and make peace with the fact that you'll never get to see all of those worlds and planes that you promised yourself. Whoosh. The rush of air is like when you jump from the cliffs of New Tinish into the Moon Sea. Ah, what a day that was. The water crystal clear. You could see the hammerhead coming from below long before it was a worry. You glance up and your friend is still laughing his giant dumb ass off, and you notice that the trees to either side of you have been cut clean, just above your still attached head. You breathe in and watch as the tops fall in slow motion back into the forest. A thunderous thud is the only thing that blocks out the dumb son of a bitch's laughter. Coco, what the hell is it so funny? It's going to kill us, my friend.
No.
You look up, and no, it's not going to kill you. It's stuck, as if by magic. Then you spot it, a small platform just above the thing's hips, and there is a gremlin hanging by one hand. And there is your other friend, the small Lemurfolk you call Little Chief, holding a pendant with a symbol on it, about to stomp the barely hanging on hand. Okay, get out of my head, let me tell the story. The narrator is not supposed to be here. All you talk about is the dragons. This is my story. Go on, talk about your dragons. What do you mean? I don't only talk about dragons. I talk about lots of things. No, it's dragon this, dragon that, fly, whatever, breathe. I don't want to see any dragons here, okay? Fine. Narrators, am I right? I begin to laugh so hard as Coco. Maybe I laugh a little harder as I notice the symbol on the pendant matches the one I drew on Little Chief's forehead. Quite phallic. This thing is huge. I mean the mass of metal, stone, and wood that towers before me. It must be at least 20 to 40 feet. Oh my goodness. This is when Tully the bearfolk. He tells us that this mountain of metal, stone, and wood is not the Warforged Colossus. He says this one is small. Oh God. And called the Warforged Titan. This has Maddog thinking Coco and I may have bitten off more than one can chew. But before I let the despair get a stranglehold of the courage, I grab the little shit that tried to decapitate us. He has a face only a mother could love, with those bright orange eyes and green hair. For one so short, what is he, a foot tall? His belly is impressive, such bloat. Clearly a god was intoxicated when they made such a thing.
No.
Coco says I am not that far off. He says the Rum Gremlin. That is what this little hideous bastard, is the result of a drinking contest. I am immediately afraid of where the story is going, Coco. Next you will tell me someone was drunk enough to take it home.
No.
That is not fair, Coco. In the light, I thought she was a beautiful succubus, not an orc. My friends, that is why Maddog no longer drinks the whiskey. But I digress. Legends say that Midgard's Loki bet Ninkash that she could not make a brew strong enough to knock him upon his godly mischievous ass. Ninkash won the bet, and some band of mites stole the remaining brew and returned into this little nut that just belched in my face. Maddog will toss you very, very high, you little... I digress once again. Maddog is easily sidetracked. Like right now, I am wondering if we could seek the advice of this Ninkash on Maddog's mead recipe. Speaking of which, I am feeling like I've had a bit of the mead, but I know I have not partaken in such indulgences yet today. Speaking of which, stop trying to lift my flask, you little shit. Look at the mouthful of razor-like teeth on him. Why do I feel the tipsy?
No.
Oh, that makes sense. Coco says that the Rum Gremlin... Ooh, I am getting the drunk. The Rum Gremlin gives off a drunken aura that affects all within a 20-foot diameter. He says these gross little ones keep friends with swarms of rats. Oh, nasty, nasty, nasty. Coco has irrational fear of the rats, and I do not blame him. He says they train them to protect their nests. No nests here, as far as I can smell. Maddog has a nose for such things. These sneaky ones usually work the docks and trick sailors and dock workers to lure them below the docks, where they all swarm the poor drunken bastards. They will use their sneaky magic to start up the arguments and the brawls. Many a bar fight have these little drunken shits started, and for that I am off the shore. Yes. Tully says that the Rum Gremlin's weakness is the sound of the bell. He says they loathe it like a big orc loathes the exercise. He says these little ones will go into a barbarian-like rage. Can you imagine? And they will try anything to destroy the source of the sound. He says that's how the smart tavern owners check for and get rid of these vermin. Maddog will make note of that for when Coco and I open our tavern and brothel. Ah, my friends, an idea has struck me like a lightning bolt. I think we should negotiate with our little friend here and his strange symbol that looks very much like the phallic symbol we draw on Little Chief and his shitty little cousin. Oh yes, it is very amusing, is it not, Coco?
No.
Coco agrees. We need a honeybee hive, 2 tusks of the wild boar, a pair of scissors, and a bell. Oh yes, and a flask of Maddog's mead, and I am positive we can reach an agreement with him. Let's see what we can salvage from this Warforged titan while Tully starts the negotiations with this little shit Rum Gremlin. So, my friends, we make the camp, and if the gods will it, and Maddog and Coco see another sunrise, it will be a bad day for the Book of Vak, the Flut of Flesh, the Spinosaurus, and the rotten Warforged Colossus, and maybe even the stinking Narrator. What did I do? You are the one who spoke of this stupid Warforged Titan. You said I only do dragons. Ha 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 ha! You do dragons. You are sick. I let you live.